Okay, so welcome to back to another episode for weekly replays. I know I haven't done this for quite a while, mostly because games were getting kind of repetitive, and if there's only like one small chunk of good gameplay to show, then I'm gonna move it to the end of meta recap from now onwards. And I just haven't been that motivated to find good replays, overall good games to show for this series. So this series, I'm not gonna hide it. It's going to showcase Vargas, and this is one of the best Vargas games I've had that showcase his strengths without relying too much on the opponent's mistakes or misplays. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, because we're looking to play Vargas, our bans will normally have to skew towards banning mages instead of banning Hilda like on my main account. So sometimes that hero is Lucretia and sometimes that hero is IBC. So sometimes ban IBC more because it enables the other heroes as well. You can see in this box there's a bunch of assassins, there's a mage, there's two mages here, there's Kyra. So overall I felt like IBC might be a bigger threat than Lucretia down the line. And opponent reciprocates by banning my IBC as well. First pick's Wetham. Then I ban out another two mages. And I go right into Vargas. So normally I don't advocate for picking the tank on first pick so early. But because the opponent first picked the Wetham, which Vargas already counters, I think it's acceptable to do this. And the other reason is that this box also has Helena and Elwyn. So Elwyn is hard countered by Vargas. Helena soft countered by Vargas because, well, it can't do any damage, but the debuffs can get kind of annoying depending on the rest of the team members on both sides. So based on these two factors, I determined that Vargas was okay to be picked on first pick. And yeah, picked it. So two flyers banned here. Probably probably showing his hand that he's not really keen on picking a tank, so he's trying to ban my long leg units. Picks Kyra, a logical choice based on the first pick of Vargas. It's like the last magic DPS unit left in this box. Ban out two assassins that are not Pepsi and Werner. So I go for the stunners because not too keen on being forced to pick Rosen this early, especially when my first pick is already a tank. And I go for my own Cherry because Cherry soft checks Wetham werewolves or not, and it also soft checks Kyra if it's not Mad Ring, or I can choose to bring Angels and make it more annoying for the Kyra to kill. So I have options with this pick, but we'll have to see for the rest of the team members. Elwyn and Tejas, more single target threat range units. Pepsi comes out, trying to pick up as many assassins as he can. Ban out the last assassin and CC White for the physical guard, and 2 for the egg again. So I don't really care too much about Hilda at this point because I have a lot of assassins left. So I have both mages and assassins left, which are both pretty decent against Hilda, so I'm not too concerned about that. I already secured my one assassin, which under ideal conditions should be able to trade for the Kyra, and Pepsi will have a decent amount of downtime. So not too concerned about Hilda, and I would rather try to ban the CC White, force him to go for a healer, depending on whether he wants to call my bluff or not. And if he goes for the healer, I'll ban his tank. If he goes for the tank, I'll ban the healer because I don't care about these final two units. Pick up Lucretia here. Overall, good unit in general. Bans out two of my assassins, Pepsi and Diehard, but it picks a healer, so he's banning them for the late game potential and for the stun. Although he has a Liana, so I'm not sure about the stun. Probably just trading things. So it's not actually banning assassin, he's just banning threat units. And after that, I ban, the ones that are not the two horses, and I pick Rosen. So this is just in case he decides to go for Helena, and also it prevents the Wetham from trying to bring the AoE to try and break my Vargas guard. So, it's a solid 4th pick here based on the matchup. Azusa and Werner gets taken out, and he chooses to pick Elwyn instead of Helena. I don't know about this because Elwyn literally cannot do anything against Vargas, but then again, Helena also can't do anything against the combination of Vargas and Rosen. So, I think this last pick didn't really matter, in all honesty. This guy has a revive, so something. Go for Oboro because I don't really need a second tank against this. Vargas alone will be enough to handle this. And first thing that happens immediately is I make a big mistake and I put my Lucretia on the front row. So if this Elwin wants to take it, he can. So I don't know. Maybe I haven't played Lucretia in too long. Then I forgot that you can't put Lucretia in front because the puppets are gonna do this shit. And he does accept the offer and goes for it. So I think part of the reason why he was bold enough to go for this is that my team sucks at turn 1. It's horrible at turn 1. Oboro can't, no, well, Oboro's horrible on like a few turns after turn 1, but Oboro can't do shit. Rosen probably needs to faction buff or drop Mass Crystal or something to get rid of these debuffs and to put immunity for what's coming next. Cherry has no attack buff before I mass attack. And if I mass attack, I can't attack with Lucretia. And my Vargas has to guard, so he can't go in and power stat this thing because I have to maintain my formation. And because of those factors, I actually can't kill this Elwin on this turn. Like, I have to hard commit. I have to do like, Vargas power stat into mass attack, Cherry finish off the kill. Something like that, which will force my entire team to stick near to my Vargas because I am not using Spirit Boots. So my Vargas will be here and the team will have to surround him like here. Which is not the ideal position I want to be in. So you can see how this game starts off from this point. So I'm already starting on the back foot. I kind of lost a puppet technically for free because it takes quite a bit of effort for me to kill it back. Accelerated 8 on Epsilon. So okay, wait, I got distracted by what I was talking about. But first off, I want to say that Epsilon with Accelerated 8, 9 games out of 10 that you bring this, it's gonna be useless. There are very rare situations where this is good. It's good paired with Wet Ham, but only if it allows Wet Ham to secure one major kill against a tankless opponent. I think that's the only situation where I'll consider bringing +1 on Pepsi, because the opportunity cost of not bringing the other Ignore Guard skill or the Shadow Stealth is very big compared to what Accelerated 8 gives. Usually you use it one time and then it's useless for the rest of the game, because generally you don't stick near your teammates in order to benefit enough from it. Going back, so this is no attack buff Cherry. I was gambling because this is the Prisoner's Ear. So I was thinking maybe Shadow Raid would be enough to take 1 life. But sadly with the Defender proc, it's not. You can kind of argue whether it will be enough or not, but it's left with 20%, so I think it would have been enough. But yeah, it's a bit sad. Otherwise I could have just killed this Elwin on this turn without losing too much tempo, other than sacking a puppet. But yeah, after that I kind of just gave up killing the Elwin on this turn, because at the end of the day, Elwin, I don't really care about Elwin. Kind of annoying, I should get him at some point, but it's not very urgent. Decide to transform with Oboro because there's no time, and I want to get him operational as soon as possible. Don't even bother mass attack, I just take that 1 life so I can finish it off later. Kyra just goes in and plucks my Lucretia. Drop near doesn't do enough because I don't have my puppet anymore, so I can't counter at 4 range. He goes in. And Cherry checks him with 3C or her, and it's not Mad Ring, so that dies, which is very nice. It's one of the main threats gone, because Vargas hard counters, well, this particular Vargas at least, counters Wet Ham and Elwin, so the 2 major threats are Kyra and Epsilon, so having that Kyra traded is very nice. And you know, Elwin tries to hit my Vargas, it does pretty much literally nothing. It removes my Empire faction buff, that's about it, because his 3C is undispellable. Drop a Miracle because I don't really have anything else to do, he's coming in already. Wet Ham goes in, and at my current HP level, it's enough to let the Wet Ham take 1 life. That is okay because there's more where that came from. Use up, and my Oboro. Pepsi walks in, and here I show complete disregard for the safety of my Oboro, because Oboro is simply a pebble by the roadside for the true hero Vargas. So I don't care if he chooses to hard commit and go for it, because I'm expecting the Liana to act again, and the Epsilon is probably gonna go kill my Cherry. So in any case, he can't reach my Oboro anyway, and I'll probably just transform my Oboro immediately afterwards, so I don't really need to guard it. And he does do exactly that. With my Cherry is bringing Earth Elf, so there's no chance in hell of tanking this. So here, I decided to just transform my Oboro. And a certain agent in my Discord call told me that the damage against Wet Hand would be pretty decent, so I tried that. And it was not decent. So I missed the opportunity to just take out the Elwyn here, but it's okay because my main objective was really just breaking the Pepsi shield. At the end of the day, these two guys don't really matter, but you know, yeah, don't try this at home. Wham just fucking runs away. I decide to check some damage on the Epsilon, but I don't have faction buff, so I'm missing quite a good chunk of defense and attack from the conversion. So otherwise, I think with the defense buff, that could have been a kill, although slightly unlikely. Took a bit of damage in return, but it's okay. Like a billion lives. Epsilon gets healed up. Rosen's just gonna go heal up everyone. Mass Crystal. Owen's just gonna run away. He's no business being here. Here, I'm not sure why. I decided to try to check my damage again. Maybe it's not last rites I can actually kill it, and I cannot. So I think I decided at this point I am not attacking this Wet Hand for the rest of the game with my Oboro. Goes back up to full health. And on the other side, Rosen just comes in and says, I'll show you how it's done. And takes out all the werewolves. Runs away. Vargas just guards because my guards run out this turn. So I think here there's one major mistake being made. The Pepsi runs across to the other side. Elwyn stays here. Vargas walks in and guards. So here, he's trying to go for a play where Epsilon ends turns, gets his ignore guard back. He acts again and then he kills my Oboro. But he made a... well, it's pretty major positioning mistake here. And that allows me to just block off the Liana. The Liana cannot reach to act against the Pepsi now, so he's forced to waste a turn. So yeah, this is kind of the only mistake that's happened the entire game, other than my mistake of leaving the puppet out. And well, you can argue whether it's a mistake or not that he brought Accelerator 8 instead of another Ignore Guard skill, because the game would look pretty different with the 1C Ignore Guard. So I just Empire buff up again. The Wet Ham and Elwyn skills are nowhere near coming back off cooldown. Here, I don't know, this might be a minor mistake. He chose to auto creation the Wet Ham instead of just healing herself. I don't know if she will go back to full health, probably not. But maybe it will have enough health to tank the Oboro hit on the next turn. But because the HP is so low, yeah, this one will be a kill. And Oboro does do something useful this game. Then he's gonna proceed to immediately lose his life to Epsilon. Even with the Iron Helmet proc, it's not able to tank a 4-stack Pepsi. And sadly, at 2 stacks, it's not sufficient damage to take out the Pepsi along with him. So I don't remember what star this Oboro is. Is it 5 or 6? This is 5 stars plus 15%. So yeah, at 6 stars it might be enough, but at 5 stars, 2 stacks, it did around 70% of the health because he heals back 30% from the exclusive. So yeah, it's not sufficient to bring the Pepsi down with him at just 2 stacks. But it's okay because the table is now set for Vargas to clean everything up. Pepsi has only one Ignore Guard skill. It's not coming back anytime soon, even if I kill everything else. And it's kind of sus for Pepsi to kill a Shrine Maiden Rosen anyway. It's possible, but you know, you have to deal with the faction buff dispelling either your attack or your faction buff. And sometimes even under ideal conditions, it's not a kill as well. So yeah, table is set. And you know, right now I'm just cleaning up the rest of the game. Move back. Just farming damage on the werewolves with Rosen because she has nothing to do anyway. Here he makes a poor judgment, or rather desperation move, and tries to hit my Vargas, and it does not work out well for him. And it delivers the Pepsi on the plate for my Vargas. With Tenure Breeze. Otherwise you can't actually reach that tower, but the Pepsi had no way of healing up anyway. Well, Weham does the Dance of Death. At this point there's no risk of me losing my damage. I'm like double his damage almost. And there's just no way for this Weham to come back from this, even if he clocks like 5 times. Cause at the health that I'm able to keep my Vargas at, he can't even kill me. Just farm some more damage. And he decides to leave. So that'll be the end of this game. So pretty good Vargas showcase on, like, you know, it's kind of an ideal draft. You can say the mistake happened in the draft and certain skill selections, but this is, you know, the reason why I decided to try out Vargas during the past 2 weeks. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one.